Hey everyone, welcome back to Cuddy's Bookshelf. So today is July's read and wrap up. In the month of July, I think I managed to read around 19 books. The first 6 of those books are all from the same series. It's one of my all-time favourite series. If you've watched my last video, you will know what series I'm going to say. It is the Zodiac Academy series. I didn't realise the first time that I went through the Zodiac Academy series that there was little novellas that you could pick up that go, this one is 0.5, so you could read this one before any of the others, and there's a 5.5 as well, which obviously you read after book 5. And I really enjoyed this one. This one is more to do with Darius and Orion before the Vega twins come to the academy, like the things that they're up to. Really enjoyed it. The first one, well, 0.5, and then obviously I read the first one. I still have all the feels, even though I knew what was going to happen. It's just such a good series. I really love it. So Zodiac is about 2 girls that are currently living in the mortal world, and they get found and brought back to Zodiac. They get told that they are actual fae and they have magical abilities, and they need to come to the Zodiac to learn how to use them. Also, they are heirs to the throne, and they end up going, because they're currently living in poverty, so they end up going to the Zodiac Academy to get their inheritance and to learn how to use their magic. But once they get to the Zodiac Academy, there are 4 boys already heirs to the throne, because they're the top in their abilities, and so they try and make the Vega twins' life hell while they're at the Zodiac Academy, trying to get them to quit and go back to the mortal realm. What they don't realise is the Vega twins don't actually want the throne. They just want their inheritance, like money-wise and property and so on, because they are living in a life of poverty, and they just want to learn how to wield their magic. But the boys won't have this, and they make their life hell and trying to get them to quit and leave the Zodiac Academy. And this is like a fantasy romance. There is a lot of romance in there, very good romance. It is the magical system in this is absolutely amazing. I love that it's all surrounded by like the Zodiac, and it's just an amazing series. I'm literally addicted. As soon as I read this book, like, even, I would say not even halfway, I was like, I'm in love with this series. I really do. And I tend to fly through the series so fast because I'm just addicted to it. And the whole reason I started this series again is because there was supposed to be only 8 books, and then Caroline and Suzanne, so Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valenti, the authors, decided to make it a 9-book series, and I didn't realise that they had brought a 8.5 out. So I started all the way from the beginning so I can fully submerge myself back into this world and add all the little novellas in as I go along. And I'm just having the best time rereading this. I really am. So the first one, and then this is the first one again, but as told by the boys. I really love to see all of the heirs' point of views, and like, this is around the time where a character who becomes one of my favourites, I really didn't like him. So it's weird to see his behaviours and the reasoning why I didn't like him to start with. And I can start seeing his behaviour starting to change to where I am now. So, yeah. But yeah, as told by the boys. I've also read the second one, which is Ruthless Fae. I have read the third one, which is The Reckoning. I have read Shadow Princess, which is the 4th one. And my current read is the 5th one, which is Cursed Fates, and I am over halfway in this, so by the time this month actually ends, I will have finished this. I know I would have done, so, because I can't put them down. So yeah, I'm adding this one into this wrap up because I would have read it within July anyway. So yeah, and I've just read the chapter, trying to do it without spoilers, but the chapter where something happens and between 3 people, and 2 of them are Caleb and Darius, and that's all I'm saying. And I'm just loving it. Living my best Zodiac Academy life all over again. Not mad about it. Really, really can't wait. So after I finish 5, there's obviously 5.5 novella that I have not read yet. So I'm really looking forward to finishing number 5 so I can get to the new one. And then it's just a race to the end to get to 8.5, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait. The rest of the books that I read this month. So the first one is The Wilder Girls. Really enjoyed this. This is very airy and dark and set in like a boarding school for girls, and there is a pox. I liked that the pox did present differently for each person. Like, not everybody's reaction to this pox was the same, and I really enjoyed that because you never know what was going to happen, and it seemed to like come on really quick. I really enjoyed the low-key love story in it, and the ability of humans, their strength when they need to be strong. It's very weird, and I really enjoyed it. I've not read anything like this before, so I really, really enjoyed it. Wilder Girls. I know I'm very late to the party on this one because I know a lot of people read this a while ago, but I did enjoy it. So the next book is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. So this, I was a bit apprehensive because I know it's a lot of people's favourite, but I didn't like The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern, so I was a bit like apprehensive about the writing, but I loved this book. I loved the writing style. It was so atmospheric, and it is about 2 children who have gifts, and they are forced into a challenge, not knowing each other. They just know that they are bound to challenge somebody, and they are getting trained up by 2 different men in completely different ways, and it tells you why the circus has been created, and what the whole, as there's like a mystery, it's unravels throughout the book. It's so good. Really, really enjoyed this. The hype is real. Before I get to all of the new favourites of the month, I actually DNF'd a book this month, and I never normally do that because even if a book is boring me or I have some sort of intrigue to find out how it ends, but this was so boring that, for me personally, I mean, some people might love this book, but I just found it boring, and I think it might because I read it after some very amazing books this month, so this one was very low, and it was sort of trying to put me into a reading slump, and I was like, I can't be having this is not the one. So I just DNF'd it, and I think I got over halfway, and I couldn't really tell you much about the book because do you know when you're reading a really good book, when you put it down and you sort of have that feeling of you've watched half a film and you really need to know what happens next, so you're just constantly picking it back up. I get that with most books, but this one, if I put it down, I'd be like, what did I read before? And I was just... So I DNF'd it because I was like, why am I wasting my time? And it is Paris by Starlight by Robert Dinsdale. I just really didn't get on with it, and I'm sorry if you really enjoyed this book, but I really didn't. And I do think it might be because I have read some amazing like fantasy books this month, and this one was not the one. So yeah, I am gonna actually unhaul this straight away because there's no point putting it back on my shelves. So the first two manga I want to talk about this month is the same series, and it is Orange. So I've now finished this series. I read Orange Future and To You Dear One, and I really, really loved this series so much. This is about a girl who gets a letter from herself from 10 years in the future, and to tell her that a boy that is enrolling in her school this year is going to suffer a terrible fate, and it gives her tips and advice on how to stop this fate from happening. And it is just such a lovely series. Really highly recommend if you want a manga series to get into. So good. The only other manga that I read this month is Romantic Killer. This is volume 3, and still really loving this series. I talk about it all the time. This is about a girl who is obsessed with her cat, gaming and snacks basically, and this magical creature comes along, takes them away, surrounds her with hot guys, and keeps putting her in situations where she has to fall in love. And it's very funny, very loving, and I'm just really enjoying this series. So the next two books are both by Ali Hazelwood. This is Love Theoretically, which is her newest book. Oh, I loved this book so much. Ali Hazelwood is very much one of my go-to favourite authors for romance. So this is about a girl called Elsie, and she works 2 jobs. One in which she is a professor, but that doesn't pay enough to cover food and everything in her life. So she has a second job where she pretends to be people's girlfriends. So this starts off where she is on a date, fake dating this boy, goes to meet his family, being his fake girlfriend, and then gets the chance to have her dream job. But the person that is the head of department of physics at MIT, Jack, he is the brother of the lad that she has been fake girlfriending. And it goes from there, and it's a lot of miscommunication and not knowing each other properly, and like grumpy sunshiny. And I just really loved this book. Ali Hazelwood never goes wrong. I always get very excited, and I think I read this straight after Paris by Starlight, and because I knew I needed something as a pick-me-up. So it picked me up. Because I couldn't get enough of Ali Hazelwood, I picked up Love to Loathe You, which is 3 short stories, all interconnecting, so all the girls are friends. Again, it's obviously based around science, and they're just really good. Really highly recommend this. I just can't get enough of Ali Hazelwood's romances. I just love them. The next book I read, I was very late to the party on this, but I was very much looking forward to reading this. It is a book that I wrapped, and then I know like a few weeks later after I wrapped it, or a month later or so, I was like, oh, I wish I hadn't wrapped that because I really want to read it. And it is Red, White and Royal Blue. Oh, this is so cute, and oh, I just really enjoyed this romance. And this is coming out in a film really soon, so I've read it just in time. So this romance is between the first son and the Prince of Wales, and obviously it is a forbidden romance, and it is a enemies to lovers romance. Really loved the tension between the two, and the power and strength that love can do. And it just felt like such a sad but happy romance, because there is still people out there in the world that can't show their true feelings and who they are as a person, and that just makes me really sad. And when shit hit the fan in this, I cried. This did actually make me cry, and it was just such a good book, and I can't wait to watch the film. I really love this edition of it. It looks like this. And then on the end pages, it's got like clips of stuff that happens during the book, and it's just really cute. The next book is Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. This book, I loved this book so much. Like, TJ Klune, I want to read more of his books next month because he's fast becoming one of my favourite authors. I seriously really loved this book. So this is about Wallace, who has died. He died suddenly, and a reaper comes along at his very sparse funeral, and the reaper takes him to this very peculiar tea shop which is owned by Hugo, and Hugo promises Wallace that he will help him pass over and cross over to the other side. And it goes from there. Wallace finally accepts that he is dead, but the characters in this, there's Nelson, who is Hugo's dad, this old man, and he is just such, it just feels like everybody's like granddad, and he's so funny, and I just really love him. And this is a journey, and it made me cry, it made me laugh out loud. I just couldn't get enough. I read it so fast that I had regrets afterwards, because I was like, oh, I should have like forced myself to read only like certain pages a day, but I just couldn't get enough of it. And I just highly recommend. The next book is Yellowface. This is one of my favourite books this month. I read so many good books this month, I swear. It just makes me so excited. And this is one of them. This, like, I knew this was going to be a favourite from chapter 1. I was already like so hooked and so intrigued. And it just shows what it is like to be an author with the internet around, because it can change your life for both good and bad within a day. And it just shows you what it's like in the publishing industry. This is about two girls basically. One is called Athena. She is very famous author, very popular author, and she dies in a freak accident. And this is a story about June, who saw her chance of being able to steal a unpublished manuscript that Athena had on her desk and pass it off as her own. And as things like come about, it gets closer to people realizing that this isn't her writing, and it is the lengths that she will go to keep that secret. And it's just the darkness of the internet and what it can make people psychologically think and do and feel, and like how cultural appropriation is such a massive thing in authors' writings now. Really love this. I really highly recommend. Really love this edition as well. It's like when I review like some of my favourite books, and I just feel like I don't do them justice. Like, you just need to read them. You really do. They're just so good. And the last book, last but definitely no means least, oh my days. So normally when I read quite a lot of books in the month, I will make a little, I'll stick these into the inside covers just so I can refresh my feelings of when I actually first read it. But the ones for this book are quite funny, so I might just read them out. So this book is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. As everybody, I wish I read this sooner, because I had so much anxiety like going into it that I wasn't gonna like it, that I adored this book. Honestly, I need number 2, and I feel like my squiggles say it all. So, mind the language. This fucking book, oh my god, I just loved everything about it. The tournament, the slow burn romance, and then I put the romance, exclamation point. Enemies to lovers. The last 4 chapters, I was screaming. I can't, I just can't. I need book 2 now. I laughed, I cried. This is hyped for a reason, and I'm joining the hype. End of chapter 36, I was bawling my eyes out. And then the last 3 chapters, I had buns of steel. And then I was crying again. Then I put the book down for a minute. Then I went back in, my heart hurting. And the last chapter, with a different point of view, was heartbreaking. I need book 2 so bad. And I feel like that wraps that book up. It's honestly, it is such a good book, and it is hyped for such a good reason. Rebecca Yarros has done such a good job. I don't know what to say after I've read them out. It was quite funny. But I really can't wait for book 2. I know it's not long now, but the reveal right at the end. Yeah, it had me laughing, it had me crying, it had me clenching, it had me screaming, it had me writing random notes and underlining them. So good. Honestly, if you some reason have not yet picked this up, you need to. It is worth all the hype. It is such a good book. And can I have number 2 now? Do you know what I'm thinking of doing as well? As soon as book 2 is like very close to being released, like a week beforehand or something, I feel like I'm gonna reread this. And just keep rereading it. I feel like this is going to be on par with my ACOTAR Zodiac Academy, where it will bring me so much joy to constantly keep rereading them. It's going to be a reread book on my shelves, like overly reread, and I'm living for it. I cannot wait. But yeah, that's all the books that I have read this month. Really enjoyed them. Cannot wait to find more new favourites in next month. Have you read any of these? What was your thoughts on Fourth Wing? Because I can't get enough. Obviously, if you've read the Zodiac Academy, let me know. You know, best friend vibes. If you really loved Yellowface, any of the books. If you read Paris by Starlight and actually got on with it, I mean, I'm not going to give it a second chance, but but like, I don't know if, because I think I started Paris by Starlight after Fourth Wing, and I don't think that was a really good idea, because like, and I read this one before Fourth Wing, then I read Fourth Wing, and I was like, and then I went into that one, and I was like, I didn't really give it a chance, did I? I mean, R.F. Kuang and Rebecca Yarros, it's like, but I have been saying that I want to be more stricter and only have books on my shelves that I absolutely adore. So if reading 2 amazingly good books just beforehand makes your book not as good, maybe I DNF'd it for a reason. But if you have read it and did enjoy it, let me know what you did enjoy about it, because I'm intrigued. But yeah, honestly, leave me any of these, if any of them was your favourite, if you're looking forward to Red, White and Royal Blue, the movie, because I really am now. If any of the books, just talk to me. just talk to me down below, because I am so hyped about the books that I read this month. I've got so many 5 stars here. Should I actually tell you? So obviously 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. 4.5. 4.5. This don't bring me as much joy as the others, so again, 4.5. Zodiac Academy, 5 stars, every single one. Just obsessed. But yeah, all the 5 stars, and I'm just so excited. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you would like to see more from me, please subscribe, and I hope to see you on my next video. Bye! Let's do that again. Let's do that again. Because I'm not making no sense. Books that why am I talking like this? I have just read the chapter where it's so hard to say without spoilers, where it's Caleb, Darius and somebody chapter, and like something happens between those, and it's a good chapter. It's a good chapter. Why am I stuttering? The Vega twins do. So anyway, enough about Zodiac Academy. Never enough. Never. Do this pop. The next book that I read, or should I say didn't read, 10 years from no wait 10 years in the future, and from 10 years in the future. That didn't sound right, did it? And this magical treat, I'm trying to say it too fast. So that's all the manga. I need to get my breath back. Jesus Christ. Her newest one, which is Love Theoretically. I said it first time, but I ruined it by congratulating myself. But anyway, this is Love Theoretically, which is her first. No, it's not. Oh, I should have just not congratulated myself. Anyway, but the person that is the head of the can't get an itchy tab. Just can't get enough of Ali Hazelwood's. Why does that sound weird? Or does it just sound weird to me? Breathe. Very, very much looking forward to reading what need to calm down. So good, and I know that this is a series. I think it's a film. And oh, the next book. Oh, I'm so excited for the next 3 books to talk about. Anyway, I just be nice with your words, people. Makes me want to press them. No, like typewriter. These are quite funny, actually. Wow, it's really raining. But yeah. What else was I going to say? Not a clue. Not a clue. I distracted myself then. And if you would like to see more from me, please subscribe.